There comes a time in your life when you have to stop hoping for things to change and force yourself to change. You've been waiting too long. Waiting for the perfect timing, waiting for the money to show up, waiting for the right connections, waiting for the fear to disappear. But let me tell you something. If you're still waiting, you're not leveling up. And if you're not leveling up, you're falling behind. The next level of your life isn't going to feel comfortable. It's going to feel like pressure. It's going to feel like stretching. It's going to feel like risk. And that's exactly how it's supposed to feel. You don't get stronger lifting the same weight over and over. You get stronger by adding resistance. And that's what life is trying to do for you. It's adding resistance so you can break the version of yourself that's been holding you back. You say you want success, but do your habits reflect that? Because success is not a result, it's a decision. It's a mindset. It's a standard. When you raise your standards, everything else has to fall in line. Your time, your thoughts, your relationships, your environment, they all have to align with the level you're trying to reach. But here's the truth. It won't happen automatically. You have to force it. You can't keep living like the old version of you and expect new results. You've outgrown who you were, but you're still wearing the same mentality. That mindset you developed to survive, it can't help you thrive. You've got to break out of the shell you built when you were afraid. That shell was protection once, but now it's a prison. Tear it down. Discipline is the difference between where you are and where you want to be. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more inspiration. You need more execution. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is foundational. Anybody can be excited for a day. Winners are consistent for a decade. And let me tell you something else. You don't need permission. You don't need someone to validate your dream. You don't need to wait for somebody to co-sign your next level. If you keep waiting for confirmation, you'll miss the window. You have to decide that you're ready, not feel ready. Decide you're ready, because readiness isn't a feeling, it's a commitment. You don't prepare for the next level, you step into it. And that pressure forces the preparation out of you. Every time life presses you, every time you feel the weight of growth, that's not punishment. That's positioning. That's not life breaking you down. It's life building you up. Diamonds aren't made by relaxation. They're made by pressure. So when it gets hard, when it gets heavy, when it feels like too much, that's the signal. That's the gateway. That's the door to the next dimension of who you are. You're not average. You're not common. You were never meant to blend in. You were designed to dominate. But domination requires demand. If you want the crown, you must be willing to carry the cross. If you want greatness, you must force yourself to grow into it. You must demand more from yourself than anyone ever expected, and then deliver even more than you demanded. So stop negotiating with your excuses. Stop playing small to keep others comfortable. Stop living like your purpose is optional. It's not. Your gift is necessary. Your voice is needed. Your greatness is overdue. It's time to level up. Not later, not tomorrow, not when it's easy. Now. Force yourself to level up and watch what happens when the real you finally shows up. Discomfort is the price tag for greatness. It's the toll you have to pay to cross the bridge from where you are to where you're called to be. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants impact. Everyone wants to win. But not everyone is willing to get uncomfortable for it. And that's the dividing line. Because comfort is a cage. It feels safe, but it keeps you small. It keeps you repeating cycles. It keeps you living beneath your potential while telling yourself you're being patient or waiting on the right moment. But greatness doesn't wait. Greatness requires you to move, even when it's hard, even when it's scary, even when it hurts. See, discomfort is not the enemy. It's the evidence that you're growing. You can't transform your life and stay the same at the same time. Growth demands change. And change is uncomfortable. It's unfamiliar. It forces you to confront your habits, your fears, your weaknesses, your excuses. It will ask you to do things you've never done, go places you've never gone, and become someone you've never been. That's why most people stay stuck, because the old version of them feels easier, even when it's killing their destiny. You can't become exceptional doing what's easy. You don't discover your power in moments of comfort. You discover it when you're stretched, when you're challenged, when you're pushed beyond your limits and you don't quit. That's when the greatness inside of you starts to rise. That's when you realize you were built for more. But you'll never find that version of you in your comfort zone. You have to leave the familiar behind to unlock the phenomenal. You have to walk into the fire and trust that what comes out the other side will be stronger, wiser, and ready. Discomfort is the signal that you're on the right path. It means you're not settling. It means you're no longer tolerating mediocrity. It means you're leveling up. So stop avoiding the struggle. Embrace it. Lean into it. Thank it. Because the very thing you're running from is the very thing that will refine you. Discomfort is not your punishment. It's your preparation. It's the cost of access. It's the sign that you're leaving behind the ordinary and stepping into the extraordinary. If you want the life most people don't have, you've got to be willing to do what most people won't do. That means choosing growth over comfort, purpose over ease, destiny over delay. Greatness is expensive, and discomfort is the price tag. Pay it in full. Discipline is greater than motivation, because motivation is fleeting, but discipline is foundational. Motivation feels good. It's the spark, the rush, the emotional high that makes you want to get up and go after your goals. But what happens when the feeling fades? What happens when you wake up tired? What happens when life punches you in the mouth, when you don't feel like showing up? That's where discipline steps in. Discipline is the decision to act regardless of emotion. It's the commitment to consistency even when circumstances are inconvenient. Most people rely on motivation, and that's why most people don't get very far. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until the conditions are right. But winners aren't waiting. They're working. They show up whether it's raining or shining, whether they're inspired or exhausted, because they're not driven by how they feel in the moment. They're driven by who they're becoming in the process. Discipline is a muscle. It gets stronger every time you use it. Every time you wake up early when you don't want to. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself. Every time you push past distractions and lock in on the mission. That's when the gap between who you are and who you're meant to be starts to close. Discipline is how you train your future to obey your present actions. It's how you build a life by design, not by default. Motivation might get you to start, but only discipline will carry you to the finish. You don't reach success by doing what's easy. You reach it by doing what's necessary repeatedly until the results show up. That means showing up to the gym when you're sore. That means creating when no one's clapping. That means practicing when no one's watching. That means staying focused when everyone else is distracted. The world is full of talented people who never made it because they couldn't stay disciplined. They had the potential, but not the process. They had the dream, but not the drive. Discipline separates the average from the elite. It's the difference between wishing and winning. It's the invisible grind behind every... You want to change your life? Don't chase motivation, build discipline. Because motivation might inspire you for a moment, but discipline will transform you for a lifetime. Break the identity you've outgrown, because the version of you that got you here is not the version that will take you there. Too many people are trying to reach new heights with old habits, outdated mindsets, and expired identities. You can't walk into your future dressed in your past. You've been wearing an identity that was built in survival mode, built in limitation, built in fear, and now that identity has become your ceiling. And the only way to break through is to break you. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need anyone to validate your growth, approve your transformation, or co-sign your next level. Evolution is your birthright, not a group decision. Stop waiting for people to understand your vision before you move. Stop shrinking your dreams to fit the expectations of people who were never meant to walk your path. Your future's not up for a vote. If they don't get it, so if they don't support it, keep going. You weren't called to convince, you were called to become. Every time you feel that internal tug to shift, to grow, to level up, that's not you being arrogant, that's you being aware. That's your higher self pulling you forward, and it's your current self that's resisting. The longer you wait for others to catch up to your growth, the more you delay your destiny. They might not recognize who you're becoming, and that's okay. You're not evolving for applause. You're evolving for alignment. The truth is, evolution can be lonely. Not everyone is meant to follow you into the next chapter. Some people are only compatible with the old version of you, the one that stayed quiet, played small, played safe. When you outgrow those roles, they may fall off. Let them. That's not rejection, it's release. It's life-clearing space for what's next. You don't owe anyone an explanation for changing. You owe yourself the responsibility of not staying the same. You have to stop asking for clearance to rise. No one can give you permission to be powerful. That has to come from within. That has to come from a deep, unapologetic decision that you are no longer willing to live beneath your purpose. That you are no longer available for mediocrity. That you are no longer interested in playing roles that keep you liked but not fulfilled. Evolution doesn't need approval, it needs action. You evolve by choosing differently, speaking differently, thinking differently, moving differently. And yes, it will confuse people who are committed to your old identity. But remember, you are not responsible for their comfort. You are responsible for your calling. You don't need a green light when you've already been assigned a mission. And then evolve boldly, grow relentlessly, and become unapologetically everything you were created to be. Success is a decision before it's a destination. It doesn't just happen to you, you choose it long before you ever see it. People think success is something you stumble into, something that shows up once the stars align or the opportunity lands in your lap. But that's not how it works. Success starts the moment you decide to stop living by default and start living by design. The moment you decide that average is no longer an option. The moment you draw a line in the sand and say, no more excuses, no more delays, I'm done negotiating with my potential. Before success shows up in your bank account, it shows up in your behavior. Before it shows up in your results, it shows up in your resolve. It's not the product of luck, it's the outcome of locked-in commitment. You have to decide to win, even when you're losing. You have to decide to keep showing up, even when nothing's working. Because that decision plants the seed. And every consistent action afterward is how you water it. Success doesn't start when you arrive. It starts when you take the first step with full faith that where you're going is real, even if you can't see it yet. The people who win at the highest level aren't always the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who decided, without wavering, that they were going to succeed. They built the habits, they cut the excuses, they trained when it wasn't fun, they sacrificed short-term pleasure for long-term greatness. That decision created the momentum that carried them forward. And let's be real, success will test that decision. Life will try to make you second-guess yourself. Obstacles will show up, delays will come, people will doubt you. But the decision to succeed has to be bigger than the discomfort of the process. It has to be rooted so deeply inside you that quitting isn't even an option. Not because everything's easy, but because your conviction is unshakable. That's why some people spend years chasing results they never get. Because they never truly decided. They dabbled, they hoped, they waited for confirmation. But hope without commitment is just a wish. And wishing won't get you to the next level. You don't get success and then act like it. You act like it until you become it. You walk, talk, and move like the person who already has the result. Because success responds to identity. It follows belief backed by action. So if you want to win, don't wait for the signs. Be the sign. Decide. Commit. move like it's already done. And when you do, success won't just be a possibility, it'll be inevitable. Pressure is the gateway to power. It's not there to break you, it's there to build you. Pressure is the test life gives before it hands you promotion. And most people run from it. They avoid the weight, the responsibility, the stretch, thinking it's a punishment. But the truth is, pressure is proof that there's something greater inside of you trying to break through. If you never feel pressure, it means you're playing too small. You're living beneath your capacity. Because anything powerful, anything valuable, anything legendary is forged under pressure. Diamonds aren't formed in comfort. They're formed deep in the earth under heat and force until the carbon transforms into something rare and unbreakable. You want to be great? Then don't run from pressure. Lean into it. Let it shape you. Let it refine you. Let it expose the cracks in your foundation so you can reinforce them. Pressure doesn't lie. It reveals who you really are. When everything gets heavy, when life turns up the heat, when the process feels like too much, that's when the real you gets revealed. And the question is, who shows up when it gets hard? The pressure pushes you to make a decision. You either fold under it or you focus through it. You either give up or you grow up. Pressure challenges your character, your consistency, your commitment. It asks, do you really want this? Or did you just want the idea of it? Because everybody wants power, but not everybody wants to pay the price for it. That price is pressure. But here's the secret. If you endure it, if you embrace it, if you let it stretch you instead of scare you, it won't just grow you, it'll qualify you. Power doesn't come to the comfortable, it comes to the capable. And capability is built under pressure. That's where resilience is formed. That's where confidence is developed. That's where leaders are made. Not when everything's easy, when everything is on the line and you still choose to show up. So don't curse the pressure. Don't complain about it. Use it. Let it sharpen you. Let it activate the strength you didn't even know you had. Because pressure is not the enemy, it's the environment where your potential becomes power. If you're feeling pressed, you're probably close to purpose. If life feels heavy, it's because you're being prepared to carry something greater. Stand up under it. Don't run. Don't retreat. Don't shrink. Because if you can handle the pressure, you can handle the platform. And once you walk through the pressure, you'll realize it wasn't there to stop you. It was there to unlock you. So now you know. Leveling up isn't luck. It's a choice. It's not reserved for the gifted. It's available to the committed. And if you want it, really want it, you're going to have to force yourself to grow into it. No more waiting. No more wishing. No more rehearsing the same excuses that have kept you stuck. Growth is going to cost you comfort. It's going to stretch your identity, demand discipline, and press you with pressure. But every ounce of that struggle is shaping the version of you that's ready for the next level. You don't need permission.